You are listening to the Willpower Podcast. Welcome to the show. I am Will Holdren, and I talk with some of the most influential CEOs, entrepreneurial leaders, and thought leaders to try and reveal the secrets that has led to their success. I believe that with the right knowledge and mindset, you can do anything you set your mind to. So if you want to learn how to change your life for the better, if you want to learn how millionaires actually became wealthy, or if you want to develop and start your own business from the ground up with the right knowledge to help you, then you are in the right place because this is the Willpower Podcast. I cannot wait to introduce you to today's guest, but first, if you have enjoyed an episode, then please open up Apple Podcasts and hit that subscribe button. And if you think we deserve it, scroll to the bottom, select write a review, and leave us a 5-star rating with a review that states where you are from and one aspect of the show that you love. Once you do that, send me a screenshot and I will feature you on a future show and shout you out on my Instagram that has over 10,000 followers. Now let's get to the show with our newest guest.
No way that we go is a one-way street. Nothing that we love is a one-day key. And if we gon' do it, we gon' do this now. And if we say we gon' hold this down.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Will Holdren, and I am the host of the Willpower Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. His name is Jason. And Jason is actually a managing partner at a boutique real estate firm. He was previously on the number 1 team in North America, and he was also previously the number 2 agent, which is very impressive. So it's an absolute honor to have him on here today. So Jason, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Will. I appreciate it. I'm excited.
Of course, my pleasure. So to start off, I kind of go into your childhood a little bit. So you can kind of touch on what your childhood was like and how it kind of made you who you are today.
Sorry, say that last part again.
Can you talk about your childhood and how it kind of made you who you are today and what it was like?
Yes. Okay, so childhood, I'm the oldest of 4 kids. My dad's Iranian, so I'm half Iranian. My mom's from Canada. They met here back in the day as an Iranian son and the oldest. I think everybody that's Persian would understand there's expectations of you to, be the leader of the family and for everybody to look up and, a lot of investment. I'm the one who went to private school. They put me in private school from grade 7 through 12. My dad expected me to come out and be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. And I was none of those. Tried to be an actor, worked at BC Ferries, which is a job for a great company here in Victoria that takes the ferry boat between Vancouver and Victoria, and didn't make it as an actor. They told me I had a face for radio. So they sent me on my way. And now I'm a realtor. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So what was your parents' thought process when you decided you weren't going to become an engineer or doctor? Because like you were talking about Iranian culture, like you got to do one of those two to become successful. So what was that conversation like?
Good question. So they did, they sent me to private school and then I went to university for a couple of years. And after university, I dropped out. I was working spring break parties down in Mexico. I used to throw spring break parties in Mazatlan with my buddies from Minneapolis and just had more fun doing that. And I was like, this is not for me. I don't want to go to university anymore. So I chased a dream to try to become an actor. Moved to Vancouver. My buddy Corey Large was living in Vancouver making movies or trying to be an actor. Now he's a big producer and actor. And so I moved there to try to be the same thing, gave it a good go for 5 years. And at that at the 5-year mark, I was like, look, I'm late 20s now. I don't really want to be a bartender into my 40s, trying to make it as an actor. I just felt like acting was out of my, my success wasn't directly linked to how hard you work or you're trying to hone your craft or whatever. I just felt like it was something I couldn't control. I can't control the way I look. I look the way I look. I'm the height. I'm skinny. I'm this, that, the other. I can't. Maybe I could be your brother in a movie, but if you were blonde hair, blue eyes, and 5'2", you probably wouldn't be my brother. But they still have you come in for an audition and take time out of your day, and you have to read the scripts and everything. And I just felt like that part of things didn't resonate with me. I love the getting on camera. I love being on camera. I'm very comfortable on camera, but I didn't love the fact that my destiny in that profession felt like it wasn't in my hands, right? It was in the hands of a casting director, and that just didn't feel good for me. So I moved back to Victoria after 5 years trying to be an actor, and then I became a realtor in 2005. So I've been over 16 years now.
Yeah, I mean, acting is definitely such a hard industry to break into, as obviously as if you experienced. And I love that you brought that up as well, because previously on my podcast, I had a really big rapper, his name was Futuristic, and he did pretty much the same thing you did. He went to college, dropped out, and said, "Mom, listen, I'm going to go pursue my rapping career, and if I don't make it in 5 years, like I'll go back to college."
Yeah, I saw your podcast. So here's what I would say. Like, I've got 2 young boys, and I understand that my parents did the best that they can and try to instill in me the values that were instilled in them, that were instilled in their parents. So the generational shift seems different now. I think it's evident that you don't have to fit inside the box, inside this mold. And just because society says you must go to university, you must get this degree, you must do this, or you should do that, and a white picket fence and a house, and if that's not true to you and doesn't resonate with you, then don't do it. Like I'm telling my kids, they're asking right now. I've got 2 sons, 9 and 7, and they ask all the time, "Hey, Daddy, what should we be when we're older?" I'm like, be happy, be whatever you want to be. If you want to be a garbage man, be a garbage man. You want to be a Formula One racer, they love watching Formula One with me. Be a Formula One racer. If you want to be a hockey player, a doctor, dentist, be whatever you want. I'm never going to push them. I'm going to push them. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to push them to make sure they're not lazy and doing nothing about themselves, but I'm going to push them in sports, not push them to be a professional, but make sure that, hey, you're going to wake up, you committed, you're going to go to hockey today, you're going to go to soccer today. I know you don't want to. There's a lot of things we don't want to do, but you're going to do it. And then what they do with it or what they want to become in life will 100% be up to them. And I won't put that pressure on them that I felt being the oldest son and just coming from, my dad's in his 80s and my mom's in their mid 70s. Amazing parents, did a great job raising us, and kids were everything to them. But I just, everything's changing, right?
Culture is definitely changing for sure. And there's definitely a difference between being lazy and not going to college and actually like pursuing like your dreams and not going to college kind of thing. You know what I mean?
How old are you?
I'm 19.
19. So love what you're doing. You're 19 years old. I mean, my kid he started his own YouTube channel, and he's doing his Roblox stuff and I don't even know, Minecraft video games and stuff like that. But I mean, he's getting on camera, he's learning how to edit, he's learning how to post things. He's 9 years old. I'm not going to stop that from him. There's a balance between kids being on iPads and stuff too much and stopping them from their growth. I mean, hey, the ability for you to reach people now through podcasts or YouTube it's unbelievable. We didn't have that back in the day. You wanted 1 million people to see you. Good luck, unless you're on a stage or on the TV. How are you going to get to these 1 million people? Today, you put yourself out there, you can take a risk. You can be 19, 15, 50, 80. It doesn't matter how old you are. And people can see you. And if it resonates with them and the message resonates and you connect with the audience, they're going to come back and see you. Keep pumping out good content, and time and time and time, much like real estate. I tell everybody in this business, real estate is planting seeds and watering them. Each time I meet somebody, I meet you today, Will, boom, this is watering the seed because we're doing a podcast. Maybe somebody reaches out to me. It felt like this brought them value or resonated with them or something, but this business is people. And in your business, it's time and content, reaching more people. And I don't know, it's just, you guys are in a great time where hard work can be paid off and reach millions of people. Whereas I'm 46, so, much older than you, but it wasn't as easy back in the day.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, these younger generations definitely have an advantage of just reaching people and actually having a chance to, go after their dreams and like start a YouTube channel, just like your son is doing. And like, that's so cool because that can sprout into something so beautiful in like 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you said, it's like planting those seeds. You never know like what's going to come out on the other side.
Yeah. I've been doing this 16 years. In the beginning, YouTube was whatever. Facebook came out. Everybody started using it in 2008, if I remember correctly. And then Instagram later. And now there's TikTok and everything. And everybody's got an ability to reach an audience and to connect with people, right? I mean, I think people got to be careful. This right now is a podcast that somebody can feel connected to me and I can feel connected to them. The whole selfie generation, I don't quite understand that with all the sexy photos where they're standing there walking, or there's beautiful women and they're showing their body, but there's a message with it. That is a little different for me. That's not my generation, but hey, I guess if that works for your generation, I just think you got to be careful remembering that the amount of likes that you get or views or this, that, the other is just a number, and it means really nothing. Still be connected to your people, your tribe, and don't let that go, because really this is nice because I'm talking to you and you're a human, but posting a photo and judging if I get 100 likes or 1,000 likes and that meaning something to me, that's where I think the young generation puts weight on it. I mean, one of the first things my kid says is, how many followers do they have? How many subscribers do they have? How many likes do they get? I'm like, no, Benson, it doesn't really matter how many followers they have. Do you like the content? Do you like this kid's Minecraft video game? Do you like his YouTube channel? If you do, great, pay attention. If you don't, it doesn't matter about the numbers, then move on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I 100% have the same views as you. Like doing a podcast and more one-on-one, like we can develop a relationship out of this, but just posting that photo and making sure he gets 500 likes. If it doesn't get 500 likes, you get depressed the whole week. Like that's not healthy. You know what I mean? Like that's toxic.
Yeah. I understand why there's a generation of anxiety and depressed people out there, because this fake value that we attach to a like or a subscriber. Hey, at the end of the day, if I reach 2 people or 5 people or 100 people that I make a difference in their life, and they reach out and say, hey, thank you for doing this, or this resonated, great. That's, I don't, one person's enough. But, if you're bringing value to the audience, then I think that they appreciate that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, social media is definitely a double-edged sword, but like you said, if you're using it for the right reasons, it can be so powerful. It can benefit you so much for the future. Yeah. So kind of jumping back into your story. So you were an actor for 5 years and then wasn't really working out. So you tried to switch careers, go back to Victoria, and then you started doing real estate stuff again. So one, congratulations for not like completely falling and like, I'm done after acting, you know what I mean? Like, and then not pursuing real estate. Cause like, that's really interesting to me, like seeing that you were still motivated to try the next thing, even though acting wasn't the right fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's super cool to see. So what made you want to go into real estate, first of all, after you were doing acting?
So everybody that's an actor is basically a bartender or a waiter, right? In the beginning, unless they luck out or something. So, half of the people I worked with were trying to be actors. We all got acting coaches and agents, and we're going to auditions and stuff like that. So we'd cover each other's shifts. But there was a woman named Deborah Gold that came in and to the restaurant that I was working at. It was called Balthazar in Vancouver, this hop-in spot. And it was fabulous working there. I just loved it. And she came in and kept coming in. And one time she said to me, hey, you got a great personality. Have you ever thought about real estate? And I was like, no, I don't really know anything about real estate. I mean, I obviously understood you're selling a house and that, but I said, no, I have no idea. And she was like, well, you should think about it. She came in a couple more times. She was like, have you thought about that thing I said to you about getting into real estate? I was like, well, no, I haven't. And I said, what does that mean? Like, sure, I get you're selling houses, but how do you become a realtor, right? So she guided me locally to this page, this website, and said, you go here and you sign up and you got 1 year to do the course, and this is how much it is. And I said, well, how does a realtor get paid? Well, typical business model here is you pay, the seller pays the commission, and it gets split 2 ways, to a buyer's agent and a listing agent. Okay, and how do you get business? Like, I'm an inquisitive guy like you, so you're going to ask the right questions. And she told me, and I was like, huh. And then she asked me again another time, have you signed up for the course yet? I was like, no. She's like, you should sign up for the course. You love people. It's evident. So I love people. I was serving them drinks or food. I love people. Now I'm serving them myself and a house, right? Like the commodity is different, right? I could be selling vacuums or cars or houses, but I love people. I love you, like as a person, we're connecting, and I love this interaction. And if I was selling you a pen, if I'm passionate about the pen, but I'm more passionate about people, then hey, I'll sell pens. Obviously, pens don't pay that much, right? But I got into real estate because she told me this. But if I wasn't a realtor, I'd probably sell luxury cars. I love cars. Since I was a kid, I had posters of Porsches and Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and I love cars. They make me smile. Driving here right now, I'm smiling. It's fun. Driving there, driving back, it's all fun. I love cars. I'm like a kid in a candy shop when it comes to cars. So I think the most important thing was that I love people first. And I think a lot of people get into this business because they call me and they're like, hey, I saw this TV show. I saw flipping houses or $1 million listings. And I love houses. I'm like, okay, great. How do you feel about people? Well, I don't know. I don't really like people. I'm kind of an introvert. Okay, wrong business. Like, if you don't love people, don't get in the business, because people first, house second. And at the end of the day, like, if you don't love people, this business will beat you up, spit you out, chew you up, and kick you to the curb, right? And you'll be like, oh my God, because it's people's biggest asset to a large degree, most people. And they're going to put their trust in you, and they expect you to be around, and they expect you to be available when they want you. And if you're not, they move on to the next guy that's hungrier, or that says, I never sleep. There's realtors that have signs that say, I never sleep. And then they wonder why their client calls them at 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. or at midnight, and they're like, hey, you didn't call me back. I'm firing you. Why did I get fired? Well, because your marketing says I never sleep. So the customer is expecting you to not sleep. So you get out of this business what you put in, but it's very demanding of your time. And people expect you to be available for you. And that's not for everybody if you don't love people. I just see a lot of realtors that get in, they're like, yeah, I watched the show. I love architecture. I love this. Okay, great. How do you love people? Well, you better love people. Architecture, if you just love architecture, be an architect, right? You can be an introvert, sit on a computer, design something. If you love design, you can, do design, but if you don't love people, this is not the business. And I love people. So that's why this business is easy for me.
It's a good fit. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people join real estate just for that commission check at the end of it. But like you said, that's like 1% of the whole process. Like it's people, everything else in between.
I mean, the top 10% of people in Victoria make, I don't know what percentage it is, but 70 to 80% of the money, I'm sure. And yeah, sure, some people are in it for the money. Obviously I love making money, but I love people. I love the excitement of getting a listing and that competitiveness. I played hockey growing up, and it's like, winning a game against another team. I win a listing, but then I win an opportunity to help somebody make a difference in their life. It could be death, divorce, relocation, a new job, they're moving up, they inherited money, whatever the circumstances. It's a competitive nature because I'm up against you and I want to win. If I like that person, I still only work with people that I want to work with, because I'm at the point in my career where I don't have to work with everybody, and I choose to work with good people that I connect with. Energy. I'm huge on energy. If I feel connected to somebody and I like their vibration and they've got great energy, I'm happy to work with them. It doesn't mean they're going to be perfect humans and that there's going to be ups and downs, but if you connect with somebody and you enjoy their time, it makes the business so much better. But yeah, I love people and the competitiveness and I love houses too. Fortunately, I'm selling amazing houses now. But back in the day, I wasn't selling amazing houses, but I still love the people. And I knew that this person at this point in their life, this was their mansion, right? It doesn't have to be $20 million to be a mansion to this person. It could have been a $150,000 mobile home in the beginning, my first year that I was selling to people. And that was a mansion to them. Like that was their everything. And I was happy to be the custodian of their trust. And I just love it now too, on a different level.
Yeah. It's definitely a great fit for you, especially because you love people and you want to really help people out. And buying a house is probably the biggest decision that people will ever do in their whole life. So that's a pretty big purpose to fulfill.
Yeah.
So
I think if you truly love people, the money will flow to you more easily than if you're just doing it for a paycheck. I love people. Money flows easy to me. When I say easy, I put in the work, don't get me wrong, but people, law of attraction gives me opportunities and people, and you reach out to me and all these kind of opportunities because my goals at the beginning of the year are certain goals, and it's to attract like-minded people, kind people, caring people, people that like cycling and hockey and have kids or whatever. They don't have to have kids, but I'm attracting people that I want to spend time with. And, money just comes when you're having fun and when you love what you're doing. And I love people is what I'm doing. It's really what I'm doing. So
exactly. Yeah, I love that. And it really just boils down to taking action. And then those like-minded people actually flow to you. Like I've experienced just doing the podcast. Like I've experienced so many like-minded people. There's entrepreneurs. And where I'm from, it's kind of crazy, kind of go out and do your own thing. It's am I crazy trying to do my own thing? It's you meet other people then that are awesome, their businesses becoming really successful, helping a ton of other people. It's just super inspiring to see other people that are on the same wave and frequency as you are. So
yeah, I think it's interesting that you just said that because am I crazy to go after this? No, you're crazy if you don't go after your dream. You're the crazy one if you sit back and say, hey, that person's crazy, they're taking a risk. No, you're crazy because you're sitting back judging them and not taking the risk. Are you getting off your ass every day and going after your dream and constantly pushing the bar? I'm pushing the bar every year in real estate. I'm pushing myself, and my journey is not for everybody. How hard I work, how much business I do, this, that, the other. It's not for everybody. Some people want to surf 250 days a year and work 50 days a year. Hey, great. Then do that to the best of your ability. Don't half-ass anything. And go after it. You're young and you're going after it. I tried to be an actor. I went after it. Didn't work. But that brought me on a journey to meet somebody that set me in, Deborah, that set me into real estate. And that's my journey. And if this journey ends and goes a different direction, then it goes a different direction. But, open to the flow of life and but going after your dreams, I think, is the big one. And you're doing
100%. And imagine if you didn't go after your acting dream, and imagine you stayed in college, got that degree, you probably wouldn't have gone into real estate in the future.
No, I would have worked at BC Ferries, and nothing against BC Ferries. It's a union position, and, great people that work there, but, you're capped at $25 an hour, $30 an hour, $40 an hour, whatever. The sky is the limit in real estate. It's beautiful. Exactly. If you love people and you connect with humans, you can get paid millions of dollars a year. I mean, top realtors in different markets are making millions and millions and millions. New York, and LA, and Chicago, and Vancouver, Victoria, Toronto, Montreal, they're all making millions for what? For connecting with humans. And if you love humans and you love real estate, it's a beautiful it's a beautiful, I don't know, marriage of two things that I love, people and houses.
Yeah, absolutely. And so after you were done with the barbershop, you got your real estate license, started out doing real estate stuff. So talk to me, like, how did that first year go? Did you like hit it out the park? Was it super bad, super good? What was that like?
No, I mean, it was amazing. The first year for me was great. You know, the first 6 months I did a ton of business. I started on a team with the local realtor, Ron Neal. He was a great realtor, super busy guy, was always the number one Remax guy. And I met a guy named David Strasser, and him and I partnered up after I was in the business for 6 months. We formed a team called Binab Strasser, and we crushed it right out of the gate. I mean, here's the thing I say to people, and I met, you know, a young lady today that wants to be a realtor, and she's new, and I hire a lot of new realtors because I believe new people are bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. They're ready to go. They're super excited. The sky's the limit. Whereas somebody that's been in the business for 30 years is probably a little bit more jaded, a little bit negative on the business, they've got negative tendencies, and I'm trying to protect energy, right? Vibration and energy is the most important with the people here. So, you know, first year in the business, we knocked it out of the park. We won Gold Award, which is the top 10%. With our second year in the business, we were the number one team for Remax in Victoria and on Vancouver Island, top 100 in Canada. So we had instant success, which came from hard work, being ethical, you know, out hustling the competition, being creative with our marketing, and smoke and mirrors, right? When I said to this lady today, like the first year in the business, David and I had 2 listings, and we decided in the beginning we're going to put 10 directional arrows per listing. So those, you know, those arrows that point house this way, and in different markets, whether it's legal or not. So I'm not trying to say you can or can't do this, but in Victoria, we put directional arrows. So we put 10 directional arrows. That was our business model for every listing. So 10 directional arrows was cost us $400, $35 plus tax each arrow. Sometimes they'd last a week. Sometimes they'd last an hour. But magazine ads, you know, I've got a magazine sitting right underneath here. If I show you one of my ads, it's like $3,000 for 2 pages. I could put up almost 100 directional arrows around town for the same price as that magazine. And those 100 directional arrows, what they do is they make the public think you're doing better than you are, because they drive down one road, they see an arrow pointing down another road, they see an arrow, an arrow, an arrow. But if they just drive by one arrow and go 2 kilometers a different direction, see another arrow that's still pointing to the same house, they're like, man, Will, I see you everywhere. You're crushing it. So people would see us, they're like, man, you guys are crushing it. We're like, we are? I was like, holy shit, this is it. This is it. The perception is reality, and reality is perception, right? So that the buyers or the sellers out there see 5 directionals, 2 directionals over a 5 kilometer, 2 kilometer radius for us for 2 listings, and they think these guys are crushing it. Then they start picking up the phone calling, hey, now I need Will. Why? Because Will's freaking everywhere. He's crushing it. You're not crushing it. We're not crushing it. We're barely making it by, but boom, 2 listings becomes 4, becomes 6. Then you take out a magazine ad, then you start marketing and branding and branding and branding. We didn't have social media back in 2005 and 6. So all we were doing is meeting people, get us in front of people. And our way to meet people was open houses and magazines. Magazines gets us in front of people. Now social media gets you in front of people. And you can like, know, and trust somebody. If I see you on camera, which I've seen your podcast, and I watch them, I'm like, nice young man. I feel comfortable with you. I don't know you, but if I lived in your area, I feel like I could hang out with you. You seem like a trustworthy person. That is what the power of camera does, is it allows me to see, hey, and you know, you could say, well, this person's salesy, or he's this, that, the other, but through all of it, you can get a pretty good sense of what somebody's like, right?
Yeah. So
smoke and mirrors in the beginning, hard work, and we crushed it right out of the gate. I made 250 something thousand bucks my first year. It's 16 years ago, which is, you know, like 700,000 today. And I was like, holy shit, this is it. Like this is the business. Why? Because I just love people and I'm getting paid. Like the money is flowing to me and I'm busting my ass and I'm getting rewarded. And in a lot of jobs, you bust your ass and you get rewarded, but your ceiling is an hourly wage, right? And that's what I'm going to teach my kids. What do you want in life? Do you want to work for somebody, or do you want to work for yourself? Whatever it is you choose, do it the 100%, the best that you can, but don't build resentment. If you're unhappy in your life right now and you're whatever, you're not successful, this, that, the other, it's on you. I mean, obviously life circumstances, I don't want to sound too harsh, but there's, you know, certain circumstances where, hey, maybe it's not on you. But for the most part, people that are sitting back complaining about their life and they hate their job and this, that, the other, hey, you got a freaking choice. Quit your job, start fresh, take a chance. I took a gamble. I almost got a job as a beer salesman for the island. I was going to make 75 grand, 80,000 Canadian a year, bust my ass, drive from one end to the other, 5 hours up and down, up and down. You get a car and a credit card. I made 4 times that, 3 times that my first year. And the sky's the limit in real estate. The sky's the limit in investment businesses and stuff like that. But at that company, I would have been capped at a certain range. And most people's jobs, they're capped. And that's your choice. You choose to be capped, or you choose to break the shackles and be free and take a gamble in life and start a small business, start a podcast, or selling t-shirts or hats or restaurants or whatever it is that you want to choose in life. But don't sit back and complain about everybody else that's successful. Be supportive, watch them grow and thrive and clap them on. But at the same time, take risk in your own life, because without risk, there's no reward, right? That's the same.
You got to take action, become successful.
Take action. Everything starts with a thought. First, a thought, and then an action, right? And actually, first is probably a thought, then second is vocalizing that. Third is, let's take some action. Hey, I'm thinking I'd like to quit this government job and try to become an actor. Okay, first is a thought, then you're going to probably vocalize it to somebody you care about. Third is, I'm going to look into acting. Let's figure out, and this is what I did. I quit BC Ferries to become an actor. And my dad is, Iranian male, is like, are you crazy, son? You're going to get a pension. You're going to get this. You're making vacation pay. You can get 3 months off, and you're going to quit to be an actor? My brother was an actor in Germany, and he was struggling, and he did well, but he's always struggling. And, are you crazy? So, understand, now I'm older. I understand what my dad is, his 6 core human needs. Certainty is at the top for him. Certainty is a set paycheck. Every year I make this amount, per month. Certainty is not my top thing. In fact, the only certainty in real estate is uncertainty. You don't know if you're going to make money. You don't know when you're going to make it. But my certainty within me, Jason Binab, as a human, is I'm going to crush it no matter what, because I'm going to work hard and I care about people and I'm going to hustle people and yada, yada, yada. But it's about setting those goals and taking risk, right? Like going after your dream. And if you don't go after your dream, you're just going to live a life of mediocrity. 100%.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And to me, it's honestly amazing you did that well your first year in real estate, because obviously, like, real estate is like, it's not like you're trying to do something new. Like, people are already doing successful things in real estate. You kind of just got to copy them and try to implement that into your own business. But so many people fail at real estate, especially new time agents and stuff like that. So I'm kind of curious, like, what do you think were the main factors that separate you and like other agents that fail at the beginning of their careers?
That's a great question. So now that I work with coaches and have for the last 9 years, I have an understanding. I have maybe a more powerful mindset than some people. Like, I didn't doubt myself as much as maybe somebody else. And we all doubt ourselves. Do not get me wrong. I'm not saying I didn't, but I think once I started working with coaches, they would say stuff to me like, wow, you're a little bit more advanced than you think in terms of mindset. I'm like, well, what do you mean? And I just operate with a certain level of certainty that I'm going to crush it and I'm going to do well. And if I stayed in acting, I believe I would have done well. And did I exit acting too soon? I don't think so, because I believe I'm where I'm supposed to be now. But what stood apart for me is work ethic. My dad's Iranian, instilled in me work ethic. Son, if you're going to do something, you're going to give 110%, outwork the competition. So put in more hours, care more than anybody else. Go the extra little step in the beginning, and just be genuine, be sincere. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not like, no offense against car salesmen. There's probably a lot of car salesmen that watch this, and I think that they're great at what they do. But when you walk on a car lot, and everybody that's watching will understand, and you get a good car salesman's actually not really a salesman. They're actually just connecting. Hey, welcome. I'm Jason Binab, and welcome to Nissan. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. The front row cars are on sale, and these ones are used, and this is this, and have a look around. Let me know if I can help you. That, to me, is the style I want in real estate, car sales, whether I walk into a clothing store. I don't like the guy that says, hey, welcome today. Hey, we're blowing away cars today. We got a 20% here, and we're going to do this, and we're fire selling. If you don't buy that one, it's going to sell before you get here. Like, that to me is like, it makes me cringe, and that's not what I want, right? So I think apart from all the work ethic and the, all that kind of stuff, it's also being genuine and sincere, and people want to work with somebody they trust first, and then that they like, and that they know, right? They get to know you as they get to know you, but they got to trust you. And then trust comes from, okay, look, I don't know, this person doesn't feel sincere. They feel a little too slimy or cheesy or salesy. You don't have to sell anything yourself. You're just selling yourself. Just connect with humans. And I think that the business comes to you, and then, hey, what do you want to know about this house? Do you want to know about the painting? You want to know about the drywall, how high the ceilings are? I don't know how high the ceilings are, but I'll find out. I'll grab my tape measure. Oh, it says here on the floor plan, it's 10 feet. You don't really care. You're not going to fire me because I'm not the most knowledgeable realtor. You're going to hire me because you felt connected to me, and your kids like me, or your husband like me, or your wife like me, your partner like me. And that's the beauty of this business is it's connection based. So I think that, my first year was definitely hustle and all that kind of stuff. But I believe that beyond that, it was, I don't do anything to lose. Right. So I'm driven and I'm motivated and I'm good at connecting with people. And I do care. Like, I had a great upbringing. My parents did a great job. Myself, my sister, and my two brothers were all nice people. We're genuine humans. And that comes out too. But, without work ethic and hustle, a lot of people wouldn't know about my genuineness and my kindness in this, because they just wouldn't. If you're not hustling, you're not getting in front of people, right? So
yeah. And so on that topic, like about the hustling, and obviously as a realtor, networking is a huge part of your success. Like how many people you can touch, how well you can connect with people, just like you're talking about, generate those relationships.
Yeah.
What were some of the ways that you're going out earlier in your career and actually just networking with people and hustling just to get to know people?
Good question. So people are everywhere. And that's the beautiful thing about this business is you can make a lot of money and people are everywhere. So I say to all my realtors that join here, figure out what you want to be, where you want to be. So if you were Will, realtor in Victoria, and you said you wanted to specialize in this area called View Royal, I would say, okay, well, know everything you can about View Royal. Figure out how many homes, how many condos, what type of people they are, what the crime level is, this, that, the other. And I'd ask you, why do you want to specialize there? Well, View Royal is where I live and grew up. Okay, great. Take a look, see how many sales there are a year in View Royal. Maybe you look and you go, there's 30. Okay, who's the heaviest hitter in that market? Well, they sell 3 homes. And I look and go, okay, do you really want to specialize in an area where the top realtor is 3? And if you were to, can you feed your family? If you were to do better than that person, make 5 or 6 sales. So picking an area that you want, that you're passionate about, specialize, but also knowing your product there, like how many sales are happening, right? And then, beyond that, not just picking the area and jumping into it, it's going to coffee shops and going to restaurants in that area and joining a running group or a cycling group or a swimming group or something in that area. If your kids go to school in that area, at school in the morning, instead of just sitting there being like, oh God, look at all these people, I don't really want to talk. I see people, I'm like, I want to talk. That's the extrovert in me, right? I don't think, hey, I'm going to make business. I'm like, hey, there's Will. Hey, there's Steve. Hey, there's Travis. Hey, there's Susie. And I want to talk to people. That's not for everybody. So if it's not for you, it's identifying, okay, you know what? I got to go to work today. I'm going to be sincere and genuine in that I like people. Hopefully I'm not in the mood to talk to them right now, but hey, let's have a breathing session. Let's get into the mode. It's game time. Let's go talk to people. Right. So business is everywhere. Hockey. I play hockey. I cycle in groups, my kids, wakeboarding, wake surfing, skiing, it's everywhere. And that's the beautiful thing is, so if you're outgoing and you truly love people, there's opportunity everywhere. So where I specialize is Oak Bay within Victoria. I can go to a coffee shop there. I can go to a restaurant there and sit out on the patio and I'll see 10 to 20 people I know. I want to talk to them, not about real estate. I just want to know, how's Will doing? That's the sincerity in me. I want to know. And business comes from that over time. And if it doesn't come and Will calls me and says, hey, Jason, I've been hanging out with you, having lunch with you and played basketball with you or soccer. Sorry, I'm going to use somebody else as my realtor. Be like, oh, that's fine. Of course, you can use whoever you want. I don't owe you, or you don't owe me anything just because we have coffee or play basketball or our kids go to school together. I think a lot of realtors struggle with that, where it's like, well, Will and I played basketball like for a whole year. And then he went and hired this other realtor named Travis. Well, that's the entitlement that I find the younger generation is like, well, they struggle with that, right? Well, I feel like because I played basketball with this person, they're mine. No, they're not yours. They can use whoever they want. So if you're doing it for business, I don't think that the business flows as easy to you as if I'm just doing it. Okay, I love playing basketball. I love hanging out with Will. I love golfing with Will. He's great. Will uses somebody else. I say, hey, perfect. You're working with Dane. Dane's a great guy. You're in great hands with Dane. Love him. If there's anything I can do to help out, tell Dane, give me a call, or you can give me a call anytime. I wish you nothing but the best. When you do something with no expectation, things flow easier to you and they come more naturally, and success comes, I believe, easier.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I love that. And it's like, you're not just talking to people for their business kind of thing. It's just like you're talking about earlier, the car salesman. You got to approach it kind of the same type of way. And then also something about the people, because real estate really is a people business and people are everywhere. So business is everywhere. kind
Yeah.
of thing.
The home honestly sells itself. I know this sounds cheesy, but you are going to walk through a home, whether you're with a partner or you're not, and the home is going to speak to you or not. Nobody looks at a home and says, wow, this looks great, Jason, we'll take it. No, they look at the home and they say, you know what, something feels right about this one. I don't know, I like that last one, but this one just feels better. So people talk in feelings. And people want to connect with humans. That's based on a feeling, not a visual aspect. I can look and say, Will's a good looking guy, but I don't want to hire you as a realtor from the aesthetics. I want to, and like a home, aesthetically, it could be pleasing. I want to work with Will or hire Will or whatever based on a feeling or a connection. So the home connects with the buyer, right? Like you connect with me, whether you're a seller or a buyer or just a friend, and with connection, you know, it's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I love everything you're saying right now, and you were the number two realtor in all of North America, and that's super impressive. It's not like there's no secret CRM or no secret lead generation.
No.
What you're talking about is all like mindset, getting your mindset the right way, and building relationships. It's just the fundamentals, doing the fundamentals.
Yeah, like I'm not doing Top Producer. Like we have a CRM called Top Producer, and we've got one with the agency called Salesforce. Yes, I use it, but I'm not doing birthday reminders and cards and this, that, the other. I send Christmas cards at Christmas time. If somebody pops into my mind, I reach out to them. The universe is saying, hey, Jason, today you're thinking about Will. Oh, shit, I haven't talked to Will in a while. I'll grab my phone. Hey, Will, what's going on, man? I was just thinking about you. Long time no see. I hope you're doing well, right? And now, why did Will pop into my mind? I have no idea, but I'm listening to the universe, and the universe is saying, hey, thinking about Will, reach out to Will, right? So I don't know. There's just so many beautiful things about this business, and and I'm not saying door knocking and cold calling and CRM systems and this and this. It doesn't work. It does work. There's different business models for everybody. If you want to knock on 500 doors and call 500 people a day, like a lot of Keller Williams people talk and learn about cold calling and this, that, the other. Hey, that works. If I go knock on 500 doors, I'll probably get 20 listings out of that. Okay, and out of 20 listings, I could make $600,000 to $800,000. So what I know is that door knocking is not sincere for me. It's not what I love. But if I'm ever starving, the end of the universe is coming and I need to make money, I can door knock in businesses out there. That's pretty powerful business, that you can have business sitting out there if you need it and it doesn't really align with your business model, but you could adapt to it if times were tough. I just don't choose that aspect, and I'm not saying it doesn't work. It does work. Cold calling, I did it in the beginning. I did door knocking, not crazy amount, but I did definitely more door knocking than cold calling. I cold called the street, my parents' street. So it wasn't a cold call, it was more of a warm call. Hey, well, how's it going? It's Jason Binab. Yeah, my parents live on the street. I've seen you walking the dog, and you're like, oh, hey, I'm a realtor now. I just want to let you know. Or, hey, Will, I'm calling your street because I got an open house on the street, and I thought maybe you'd like to know and come to the open house and check out the home because the value of that home affects yours. So cold calling or door knocking with a purpose, not just I'm going to go through the phone book or online and pick a random street. No, I'm not going to pick a random street. So I could still do that. I don't. To be honest, I don't. I haven't in years. I don't need to. But if, it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It does work for certain people. And if that's your business model, great. And I'm not gonna hack it. Mine's more up here, mindset. I believe the universe gives it. I don't sit around and go and visualize business and it just falls at me. I go, okay, what do I want? I want to meet somebody today, and boom, then I'm going to do an open house. And I put up 5 directional arrows, and then Will walks through the door. And the universe says, you went, and boom, Will says, hey, you know what? You seem like a great guy. And my wife and I, or my partner and I, are thinking about buying a home. Would you be our agent? The universe responds to me that way. I believe because I've got a powerful mindset. Whereas, hey, if I went and door knocked and cold called, I could still get it too. But you literally have to have a strong mindset. And the biggest thing that I work on with my agents here is reprogramming themselves. So if you have a subconscious that doubts yourself, that doesn't think you're good enough because you're too tall, skinny, fat, tall, boom, 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 whatever your negative belief system is, and it's not even conscious, it's on a subconscious level. If you have not reprogrammed yourself and taken care of your central processing unit, your belief system on a subconscious level, I can give you 500 clients and say, hey, well, go meet 500 people, and you might land 250 of them, 300 of them. Maybe you're real good and you land 350 or 400. But I could tell you, you should probably be landing 95% plus if you've reprogrammed yourself. So I'm working on my agents. Hey, what's your doubts? I want to know every one of them intimately. Hey, tell me, Will, what are you afraid of? Well, you know what? I'm afraid of rejection. All right, guess what? I did 300 auditions when I lived in Vancouver. I got rejected all but twice trying to be an actor. So Will's afraid of rejection. So how can I make Will step into the uncomfortable to challenge him? Because if you just live life of fear of rejection, you're never going to become the best realtor, person, husband, wife, human. So let's send Will out to get rejected. So I'm going to say, Will, I'm going to send you to the mall. Let's pretend it's not COVID time and everybody's freaked out of random people. I'm going to send you to the mall and I want you to invite 100 people for coffee. And we've done this. My coaches have done it to me, my sister, I've done it to other people. Invite 100 people for coffee and see how many go. Nothing better than for rejection than that. You're asking random people in a mall, hey, can I take you for coffee? Hi, I'm Jason. So, who the hell is this weirdo? Like, freaking guy's asking me for coffee. I don't know who he is. Like, that's rejection. And if you can get over after that day, boom, Will's like, hey, that wasn't so bad. 3 people went for coffee and they thanked me. They gave me hugs. They loved it. It was random. I made a difference in somebody's life today. Okay, I have something to share with the universe. I have a story. I've got something. I have a service. My connection with the universe in real estate is I'm there to help people and help other agents and help sellers and help buyers get into a better home, different home, smaller, bigger, divorce, life, whatever is going on. And if I'm afraid of like rejection, then I'm actually stopping people from a gift that I have, right? And I believe that you need to know these people, my agents, and reprogram yourself. Because without reprogramming yourself, you might bat 500, you know, you bat 600, 700, whatever. But to bat 1,000, like it's impossible. But let's shoot for 1,000. If you end up at 900, better than 500, which is pretty much your odd. If you just coexist in life and live your mediocre life and never take a risk and never reprogram yourself, you'll probably do okay. But are you really going to be the best version of yourself? I don't believe you are until you take care of this subconscious mindset that, you know, it came from childhood. Between the ages of 3 and 8, you've got beliefs about yourself that I'm not good enough, I'm too smart, I'm not smart enough, I'm too skinny, too tall, fat, whatever. Reprogram that, and the opportunities are endless.
Yeah. I mean, everything you're saying, it just sounds amazing. I wish I was in your brokerage. It really seems like you're doing everything the right way, just focusing on the mindset, focusing on relationships, going about business the right way. So that's really cool to see.
Yeah.
So before we run time, I just have one more question for you. So kind of like looking at your future, like what are some of your big goals you want to get accomplished, whether it's with real estate, personal, anything like that?
Yeah, good question. So for me, real estate wise, it's to continue to grow the agency. So I own the agency rights for the province of British Columbia in Canada with a partner. So we're going to open up in Whistler. We just opened up in Vancouver. We're going to open up in Kelowna. I'm going to open up another one, a couple offices here in Victoria. So it's expansion everywhere in British Columbia. Future would be probably to do some sort of a coaching thing where for realtors, where it's automated, it's systematic, it's videos, I just believe I've got a lot to share, and I don't have enough time or hours in a day to mentor, you know, more than 2 or 5 or 10 people. I'd like to make an impact in 100 or 1,000 agents' lives, and how can I do that? And I'm, you know, working on that with my coach. We're talking about doing a book at some point, and then doing real estate development. I actually like that. My wife and I have done a few projects here in Victoria. I like that aspect. I don't have time for it, but I think, you know, buying places, redeveloping them, selling them. I just love real estate, and I love people, right? So it's going to be something real estate related in the future for sure. Growing the company. This is a fantastic company, a beautiful brand. And, you know, as a human, always challenging myself, teaching my kids values, doing the best I can to provide for them. And for the family, and, you know, always being the best that I can, the best version of myself that I can. And I'm not perfect, and I make mistakes and errors, and I've got my own little issues too. We all do, but always challenging myself. I wake up every day with a purpose. The purpose is to help people, to share, to become better myself, and to live, you know, the best that I can. And I'm living an amazing life right now. You know, a couple little things. I got a ringing in my ear, which is tinnitus, which, you know, it's kind of annoying, but, you know, I've through hypnotherapy and some other things, it's down. I see a cranial sacral therapist, you know, but nothing's going to knock me off my game. Mindset, right? But, you know, we always have negatives, but I think when you have a negative coming into your mind, if you can replace it with a positive. So the ringing in my ear is like, yeah, you know what? Maybe universe is speaking to me. That's not bad. Okay, what I need to pay attention here, right? or I'm this, that, or the other. Okay, you know what? I can replace that with a positive thought. So it's always kind of coming back to, if you're feeling stressed or anxious, there's the breath. You can always breathe. You can kind of recenter yourself in 20 seconds of breathing. Calm yourself, go from a negative mood to a positive mood, and just always trying to be challenging myself and being the best version of I can, and share as much as I can with people, and maybe make an impact in somebody else's life.
Very inspiring for sure. I'm definitely sure you're going to accomplish all that stuff based on what we've done so far in the past. So that's going to be super cool to see in the future.
I will, for sure.
So how many agents do you have at the agency, by the way?
I think we got 30 here in Victoria. I think the company's got about 700. We've got a conference in Palm Springs in 3 weeks, so pretty excited to go down there. Nobody's traveled for the last couple of years, obviously, or at least a year and a half, really. So excited to kind of see those guys here. But we got 30 here in Victoria.
That's awesome. That's super cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So once again, if we're out of time, is there anything else you'd like to say? And if people want to reach out to you, how can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at my name on there is Binab Group. So just my last name, BINAB Group. You can hit me up there is the best. And, I've had people like you reach out. Another guy reached out after the Overask podcast. Eric was kind enough to have me on there, my buddy Matt Leonetti too. And lots of people reach out after that. I've done some speaking engagements and had people reach out after that. If I have time, and I trust me, I do make a great effort to get back to people as I did with you and others as quick as I can. Instagram message me. And if I can help, I will. Obviously I wish I had more time, more hours in a day to help as many people as I can, but I do the best that I can. And, I'm just doing the best that I can. So reach out to me there.
Well, I appreciate you hopping on. It was definitely very informative and educational and motivational. So awesome.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time.
Yep. All right, guys, there you have it. Jason Binab, thank you so much for hopping on today.
Thanks.
Nowhere that we go is a one-way street. Nothing